guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Saska Lily and today we are doing another what I eat in a day video. So I'll be showing you exactly what I eat for breakfast, lunch and dinner, as well as any snacks I have along the way. We also have a super special apple and rhubarb crumble recipe in this video, which you can check out. It's right at the end, so stay tuned for that. It's so good. I actually did this in partnership with Forever New. You can also check out that recipe on their IGTV. I will give a link below to their Instagram and their website. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So as always, I'm starting off my day with some Moccona coffee. Today I'm having the hazelnut one, which is my favorite, and I'm using some soy milk today. I usually have oat milk, but today I went for bonsai soy milk. And I decided to make Lamington porridge. So if you're not from Australia, you might not know what Lamington is, but it's basically a cake that has chocolate and coconut on the outside and some jam in the middle. So I'm just making my oats as normal with half a banana and half a cup of oats, and I put that in the microwave for 2 minutes. And then when I take it out of the microwave, I'm going in with some vanilla extract, so half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, as well as some cocoa powder. So I have 1 teaspoon of cocoa powder here, but I actually added a bit more later as well, but you can just add what you like. I like chocolate quite dark, so that's why I added a bit more, but 1 teaspoon might be enough for you. And you just want to mix that all through so it's really well combined. And then I'm also going in with 1 teaspoon of desiccated coconut, and this just infuses that coconut flavor throughout. And then I put it back in the microwave for about 30 to 40 seconds, and then you can see the texture is a lot more firm and more kind of cakey now. And then I just made a little hole in the middle so that I could put some of my homemade raspberry chia jam inside the little hole. And then I put some more desiccated coconut on top. And that is it. I've mentioned this in my previous video, but if you want the recipe for the chia jam, head over to my Instagram page. I have that saved in my stories there. So for lunch today, I am having this delicious satay soba noodle salad. So I actually meal prepped this the day before, and because I wanted to keep this realistic, I am showing you my leftover meal. I don't always have the time to cook for each meal. It's great to do some meal prep, especially when you are working or if you're busy. So today I had this delicious soba noodle recipe. I actually do have a video for this that I made a while back, so I will link that above and also in the description box below. For dinner tonight, I decided to make some delicious fried rice. So first off, we have to cook the brown rice. I just use a rice cooker, and the ratio is 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. I made a bit extra rice here, so I had leftovers, but for this recipe you want 3 serves worth of rice, which is 1 cup of brown rice. So then to make the marinade for the tofu, I am using 2 tablespoons of honey, as well as 3 to 4 tablespoons of tamari or soy sauce. If you don't consume honey, which a lot of vegans do not, just swap this for maple syrup. It works just as well, just has a slightly different flavor, but it is delicious. So then you just want to stir that mixture through to really incorporate the 2 liquids together. So now we are going to cut up our block of tofu. I have a 450 gram block here. It's the macro firm tofu. And you just want to cut that up into little bite-sized pieces. I like little cubes. Then you're going to marinate the tofu in that marinade we've just made. So just put it all in the bowl and stir it around. You want the tofu to start to soak up some of those flavors so that it tastes delicious. Alright, so now it's time to cook the veggies. So you just want to put a little drizzle of oil in the pan, and then we're going in with the onion. I've used a red onion here because that's all I had, but you could definitely use any type of onion or even shallots, whatever you have at home. Then I'm going in with some garlic powder because I couldn't be bothered cutting up fresh garlic, but alternatively you could use fresh garlic here. And then I also am using some ground ginger. Again, you could use fresh ginger if you have that, but I didn't have any at home, so I just used ground. Now it's time to cook our tofu. So I like to cook my tofu on a separate pan because it allows the tofu to crisp up a bit better. And also a quick tip is to not put all of the marinade in with the tofu because we are going to use that later. Then you want to put your mushrooms and your carrots into your frying pan and cook that off. Then just keep an eye on both of the pans. Flip over the tofu when it's looking a bit brown, which this one is coming up delicious. And then what I do once I flip the tofu is I put a little bit of that marinade sauce on it so that the tofu will get more saucy and more delicious. And just listen to that sizzling tofu. It's making me want to make this again tonight. So now it's time to go in with our frozen peas and edamame beans. If you don't have edamame beans, you could just use some more frozen peas or even some frozen corn. But basically just chuck in some frozen veggies or whatever veggies you have. Then I'm going in with the 3 serves of rice. You just want to put that into the pan along with the leftover marinade. So this is why we want to keep that marinade, because it gives the rice a super amazing flavor. Now it's time to add in the tofu because it's all crispy and delicious, and stir that through. Seriously, that tofu is so yum. The marinade just makes it taste so delicious and soft and crispy and succulent. So good. So I like to serve my fried rice on a bed of spinach because I just love to get extra greens into my diet. They are so good for you. They're full of iron, they're full of iron and protein and just amazing things. So you really want to have as much spinach as you can. And then I'm topping mine off just with some sesame seeds. Alright, so here are all the ingredients. I will put the exact ingredient list in the description box below, so look out for that. So now we are starting off with chopping up our rhubarb. I have about 350 grams of rhubarb here, and you just want to wash it and chop it up into small little pieces. And then we're going to put that straight into the pot, ready for when we are going to cook it up. So rhubarb is really high in antioxidants as well as fiber. It's actually technically a vegetable, not a fruit. So it's a great vegetable to have in this meal. It really boosts the nutritional profile of it. So now we are going in with 4 apples. I peel my apples for this dish, but you can leave the skin on as there is definitely some great nutrients and fiber in the skin. But personally, I prefer the taste of it when there's no skin. So you just want to chop that up really quite finely because that will mean that it will cook quicker and speed up the process of this dish. So now we are putting the apple into the pot along with the rhubarb. Now we are going in with some spices. I have a teaspoon of cinnamon as well as half of a teaspoon of ground ginger. The ground ginger, you don't even really taste, but it just gives it this really nice warmth. Next up, we have some vanilla extract. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract here. And then we are going in with maple syrup. So here we are using 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, and this is instead of sugar, which would usually be put in an apple crumble recipe. Then we're going in with a squeeze of lemon, about 1 tablespoon to be precise. And then you want to mix that all up before putting it on the stove at a medium-high heat. We are going to leave that cooking for about 15 minutes while we prep the topping for the crumble. Now you just want to preheat your oven to 175 degrees Celsius, and then we are getting started on the topping. So firstly, we have 1 cup of rolled oats, and to that you're going to add 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds as well as 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Then we're going in with 50 grams of chopped pecans as well as 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now we are adding in some maple syrup. Here we have another 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. This gives it a delicious flavor and it also helps it to crisp up on top. So the final ingredient for the topping is some vegan butter. If you are not vegan, you could use regular butter, or alternatively, you could use coconut oil. So now it is time to roll up your sleeves because we're going to get a bit messy. We are going to use our hands to massage the butter into the topping mixture because the warmth of your hands actually softens the butter quicker and allows it to all be mixed through perfectly. So now our filling is nice and warmed, the rhubarb has stewed down, and it's time to put it into your baking dish. So you'll want to use a nice big baking dish to make sure that nothing overflows during the cooking process. So you just want to flatten down your apple and rhubarb mix so that it's got a nice even layer. And then we're going in with the topping. So just crumble it over. Again, a nice even layer would be perfect, but really do whatever you want. And then straight into the oven for 30 minutes. Alright, so it has been almost 30 minutes and it is time to take the crumble out of the oven. Guys, it looks so good, I'm so excited. Alright, so now it's time for the taste test. It's actually so good. The apple is really nice and soft and the top is really crispy and delicious. A lot of people would usually serve this with some ice cream, cream or yogurt. I would probably do it with coconut yogurt, but today I just wanted to have it plain because seriously it's so good plain. I really love this recipe because the hemp seeds and the pecans give it a kind of like slightly earthy, nutty flavor, which is so yum. And the maple syrup is seriously so good. It's such a great substitute for sugar if you're trying to reduce your intake of sugar. And you could definitely also make this gluten-free by using gluten-free oats or by swapping it for something like quinoa flakes or some type of flour that's gluten-free. This crumble was legitimately so delicious that I had to have another serve, so this is dessert round 2. Alright, so I am going to help myself to my second serving of this delicious apple crumble, and that is all for the video. I hope you enjoyed this what I eat in a day video. As always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. It really supports me and I really appreciate it. I hope you have the best day and I will see you in the next video. Bye!